Dean Legge, Matt DeBary, getting close to signing day here. Dog Post 2020 signing day. We're going to talk about three guys who have been committed to Georgia for some time now. Carson Beck, Mekhail Sherman, and Kendall Milton. None of them are from Georgia, but all three of them are exceptionally good players, Matt. It does speak to Georgia's ability to just go out and get guys from all over the country. Carson's the guy closest. He also might be the most important person in this class, and quick too, coming up in 2020. But we both spent time with Carson. You've seen Carson play live. I've seen plenty of it on film. I've seen plenty of him throwing. What is the future for Carson? I mean, he's going to have to come in and compete for snaps in the starting job whenever he gets a shot. But, he's got a lot of the tools that you need to be successful for sure.
He's definitely got the tools. He's not, a Justin Fields running around killing you, but, to go along with the strong arm that I saw a few days before that Georgia-Florida game is his pocket presence. There were multiple times where I thought he was going to get sacked. He almost was sacked, and he made a nice little spin move or just bailed out of the pocket, kept looking downfield, and made a play. So he's more mobile than I thought. He's more athletic than I thought. I grew up playing basketball and baseball, all that. So he's definitely got the size. He's legit, I think, like 6'4", 200-plus pounds, and he doesn't look heavy at all. He can move, but it's really the arm that sets him apart. He does have a really strong arm. He was really accurate when I saw. I know he's missing some linemen and wide receivers from the state championship year he had as a junior, but the numbers were a little down this year, but I think I saw him probably play his best game of the year just a few weeks ago, again, right before Georgia-Florida, and I believe it's the first round of playoffs, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers, hit a guy deep on a beautiful deep pass, made a lot of different throws, and again, he escaped the pocket, and really impressed because I know I talked about on Dog Post, I wasn't wowed by his junior film. It was good, but it wasn't jaw-dropping or anything. So, I did have the high expectations to see him, and I think he met those. I really thought he played well, and I think he does have all the tools. He has the size, he's got the arm, he's got the leadership, really smart kid, and he's more athletic than I thought. So I really do think Georgia's getting a pretty good one here. He's not a dual threat, which I think college football has more and more of those, but he fits this offense well, and I think he definitely is going to come in and compete for snaps the second he gets here.
Well, the question I have, and it's just a real general one, is, can Carson Beck play football? Can he play quarterback in the SEC? Because you just look around the league, and with all of it doesn't matter who you're talking about, whether you're talking about Ryan Hilinski at South Carolina or Jacob Eason at Georgia a few years ago, or even, to some degree, when it comes down to it, just everybody in the league, you got to prove that you can do it. And that's the part we won't know the answer to until he gets there. The part that's so promising, I think, about Carson, there's two things that jump out to me. First of all, off the field, you're talking about someone whose father was a naval, I'm pretty certain a naval officer, if not a naval officer in the Navy for some time. But secondly, and probably more importantly, the state championship as a junior in the state's largest classification at Mandarin, a school that it's not known for winning, not that I'm aware of. So that's a big thing for Carson and what he did. Obviously, they did not roll on through to another state championship in the largest classification, but he's a legit player. He's a good player, and he's a guy that folks should watch out for.
When you look at quarterbacks and try to, whether you're us and scouting them or college staff, you want the guy who has the leadership qualities, the guy who's motivated and determined. He wants to win at all costs, great teammate, and all that. And, that's what I heard Carson was very similar to Jake at. He's a high football IQ, leader, and all that. At the end of the day, that's all great, but you got to hit your guys. You got to make the passes. You got to be accurate. And I do think that he has those traits as well. So when you go down the list, he really does check all the boxes, except, running like Lamar Jackson.
Well, or running like anybody really, I guess. But
Or
he is very athletic quarterback. He's a good player. I mean, my thing about going all in with any quarterback is you just don't really ever know. You don't really ever know. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, I thought they were exceptionally good quarterbacks, and they have been very good quarterbacks for their schools. But there's always something that you get a little bit concerned about with guys. And with Carson, I just think it's going to be, can he play in the SEC? And that's a challenge. Neither of those guys, by the way, have started in the SEC, and it would probably be a very different world for Trevor for sure, playing in the SEC rather than the ACC. And Justin, he did okay in the SEC, but it wasn't unreal. There's a learning curve in this league that you just don't see anywhere else. Now, a guy that will have maybe a little bit less of a learning curve is Kendall Milton. Now, again, strong parents. All three of these guys have strong parents,
good
mothers.
Background,
yes,
family upbringing types.
No question.
But no, this kid's big. He's a big dude, Dean.
Kendall Milton is. I mean, to me, what comes to mind is Derrick Henry, but not as big. Maybe Eric Dickerson, something like that. And those are just, one guy won a Heisman Trophy, another guy's a Hall of Fame guy. So I'm just saying, comparatively speaking, he's not like Noshawn or Thomas Brown or some of the smaller guys.
What about Todd Gurley? When Todd Gurley came in,
but Todd is bigger than Kendall Milton, I think, in terms of just if you look at him, and like Todd's waist to knees are completely thick in a way that Kendall's don't seem to be. But I would go watch Kendall play.
It seems like he runs like him, and he's kind of on the taller end. I've never seen Kendall in person or anything like that, but he looks like a big back. He breaks a lot of tackles, has some good, he's got the vision, and he can make guys miss as well. I'm not going to compare him to Todd Gurley, obviously, but you watch the film, and you can see it a little bit.
Oh no, you can. I mean, yeah. All you have to do is look at the guy. I mean, we say he's taller. He is taller than Todd is, but not by much. It's just that Todd weighs more, and the way that Todd carries it. But look, again, getting. Let's just get away from the Todd comparisons.
Right.
For me though, Todd is the frame of reference. He was better than Herschel Walker. You can at me all you want to. He played at a different time. I know that Herschel could play right now. I'm also certain that Todd could play in the 80s, and he would destroy people. Okay, so go ahead.
I was going to say, well, Kendall Milton is going to be a guy who is going to get a lot of carries this upcoming year. They're going to need him to play at a high level.
But look, just watch him, dude. He constantly is falling forward. Like, he's not a guy that you – and he gets away from defenders quick. Like, he doesn't get like if they have Kendall Milton that I have seen, and then Zamir from when he was healthy, there's some freaks if that's what happens. Because go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, if you're on Dogfest, Georgia's trying to get faster on the outside, but they've got their bell cow in the middle though that they're going to use Kendall Milton. It's always good to have speed, and it's becoming an offense around the league where you want to get faster, but you need guys like Kendall Milton to come in and break some tackles and really wear down a defense. Because again, that's Kirby's style. That's how he wants to win. And if they're not going to switch up the offense, you need a guy like Kendall Milton to come in and play early.
Now, he's not. He's different than DeAndre Swift in that DeAndre was a sort of a home run hit guy. This guy can do that too, for sure, but that's not what's most memorable about his running style. His running style is like, man, is this guy going to stop? Because it doesn't seem like this guy's going to stop. And like when he lands on top of people, he's still going. He's really good running back. I mean, he's a really good running back for sure. Last guy we're going to talk about, went to go see him again. Another strong situation with certainly his mother, but Mekhail Sherman. family is very important to him. He's coming back from a knee injury, and when I saw him play, that was the first game he had played coming back. But as a prospect, he's a guy that's clearly a 5-star guy, almost 6'5", 230, 240 pounds, something like that. He's going to be, I mean, what you think of immediately to me was Jordan Jenkins, but something like that along those lines. He's not as long as Leonard Floyd was. And again, I'm going to see him at Georgia. He will have been almost a year and a little bit away from when he was injured. Whereas when I saw him play in D.C., he was only 7 months, 6 months, 9 months, whatever it was from the injury. He's going to be a very different player in the future.
6'5" is a big dude. So he's an outside linebacker. Is that right?
Well, I know he
could play inside.
Well, I don't think he's. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely not a 3 or an edge setter or something like that on the line. He's a guy that he's very athletic. He can get to the quarterback. Seemed like no problem. Again, when I saw him play was when he was not at his best, and he was still getting to the quarterback. Pretty much no problem. This guy was a national recruit. You know, if right now the 4 national schools are Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, and Ohio State, he had all of them. They all wanted him, no question. And when, you know, from my time dealing with the family, it was clear that when he got hurt, Georgia was like, okay, hey, you know, we still have a plan for you. And I think maybe, if my memory serves correct, there might have been some slight hesitation from other folks, but he's got everything you need, Matt. I mean, he's a guy like, you know, maybe I'm just looking at the board here.
Leonard Floyd?
Well, he's not
bigger and
he's not as thin as Leonard was. But like this past year, I mean, maybe Nolan. I don't know if he's as good. I mean, Nolan is not an outside backer really. He didn't really play that. He did set the edge. He was an outside guy on the line. I'm not sure this guy is that. He's I think more of a legit outside linebacker. But he's going to play next year, and he's going to play a lot. He's got the body, and he makes plays. He makes a lot of plays.
I know he can run. I haven't seen him play. Everything I've heard says he's a big kid who can run.
Yes.
And he should be able to complement a guy like Nakobe Dean really well. So, I mean, Quay Walker was a big guy too, and he's starting to come into his own.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of athletic linebackers in that room moving forward. So that's a big deal, and another 5-star signing for Kirby Smart and their guys in this 2020 class.
It's a trio that people will be thinking about when you look at Georgia moving forward, and we don't know what's going to happen with some of the guys who are not committed to Georgia. But when you look at the guys who will make up the class and the bulk of this class, those 3 guys that we just talked about, odds are they're going to have a lot to say about the success of the program over the next 3 to 4 years. Dean Legge, Matt DeBary, thanks for listening to us. Please click to subscribe. If you do not go to Dog Post, go ahead and check it out. I'm going to leave you a link underneath here so you can do that. Same thing on iTunes. Please subscribe and go to the website, dogpost.com, DAWGPOST.com. Thanks for listening.